All right, so here we are, first session, new year. I don't know about you guys, but I've been doing a lot of thinking. I realized that, wow, I ended the year on my like 5 top failures. So maybe we ought to start the new year over on a positive note. And given the happenings of the last couple of weeks, we really need to start the year over. But anyway, I thought I would tell you about the best decisions I've made as a consultant, and then we'll do a check-in and see where you guys are at with maybe some of those goals that you set at the end of the year. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is one of the lessons I've learned, probably the biggest lessons I've learned, is listening to my intuition, that gut, that Jiminy Cricket on your shoulder, if you remember him from your childhood, that inner voice that really tells you what to do. So in my office behind, sorry, my phone is ringing. Behind my rented office space is a little wooden sign that says dream big. So my kids will tell you that I've said that all their lives, right? Just, what the heck do you have to lose? Reach for the, what's the old saying, reach for the moon and grab a few stars on your way down. Or the other one I used to say is, this is before craft beer, reach for the Michelob, settle for the Miller, right? But listening to that intuition is really important. And years ago, when I first moved to Atlanta, I took a job, believe it or not, at Rockwell International as a recruiter. Somebody had talked me into, yeah, this is industrial psychology. This is psychology. This fits you. So I did that for a couple of years, but I hated it, by the way. But the lead recruiter there said to us, and to me, always trust your intuition. When you're talking to someone, you're considering them as a hire. I think it really applies to life, right? Always trust that inner voice. And I will tell you, every single time that I have not done that, it has bit me in the butt, whether it be a client, not that I've had too many of those, thank goodness, or maybe an organization or a decision that I had to make. So always trust your intuition. And then lately, I've been really thinking about focusing on the next small step. I've got a lot of things going on in the business. I think we were talking a little bit about a business coach that I had reached out to my other independent consultants, looking for a business coach, because even though I've done the business plan, there are a lot of changes going on. And I really feel like I need somebody to kind of walk with me to help me figure out how to implement my business plan. What are those next small steps? What are those next right steps? Because sometimes it can really feel overwhelming, whether it's just getting started in your business, because you're thinking, oh my God, I got to have a website, and how do I write a contract, and how do I come up with, how much it should cost, right? Whether it be all those little things, or whether it's where I am at my career as well. I think I have like 10 years left in my career. How do I really want to spend my time? How do I want to organize my business so that I have more of a life, right? But focusing on that next small step, eating that elephant one step at a time. So hiring for my weaknesses. So we talked a little bit about this, I think, last time when I talked to you about failures. So one of the things that I do try to do, whether it be full-time staff or consultants, is to really think about what that person brings to my company and to me personally that I do not have. So if you are a qualitative guru, but you don't really have quantitative skills, then you're probably going to want to connect with people who do have those quantitative skills. If you are super creative, and I think I would put myself in that category, I tend to be very visionary, really creative, really great at strategy and logic modeling and planning and all those kinds of stuff. The details are kind of not my thing. Then I need to have people around me who are very detail oriented. And sometimes that can, truthfully, it can be kind of irritating, but you have to really remember that they really kind of make you better as a consultant. And then I would say, build the processes as you need them. Don't feel like you have to have all of your ducks in a row, so to speak. You don't need to have every single template for every report that you're ever going to generate, or your email template just right, or your spreadsheet just right. You can build the things that you need to run your business as you need. And then I would say one of the things that I have done, always try to do, and I think I've mentioned this to you guys before maybe, is forgive my mistakes. I'm like my own worst critic, as we probably all are. And when I started my business, I gave myself permission to make mistakes. So I try as best I can, as the song goes, as my 3-year-old granddaughter will sing for you if you ask her to, let it go. I will tell you, when I was a teacher, when I was an instructor at some colleges around town, you know how, you know, as a student, you fill out the survey and you rate your professor. Thank God they didn't have rateyourprofessor.com when I was when I was teaching, because I'd probably never be able to get out of bed. But I could only concentrate on the 1 or 2 students who hated my class. I didn't focus on the 98% or the 98 students who loved my class. Right. So it's really hard to not focus on your mistakes or your weaknesses, but do the best you can to like understand you're going to make mistakes, things are going to happen, and you're just going to learn from that and move on. It's a lesson I'm still trying to learn. And so this is my nod to Matt for his 5.5 tips. So definitely ask for help. So when I was in graduate school, I had a professor, Dr. Bakeman. He was my regression analysis teacher. And I remember when my advisor signed me up for the class, and I don't know if you know this, but I'd been out of school, I guess, for like 5 years. I had my master's degree, got married, came up here, had worked for a while, had 2 babies, got pregnant. So I had 2, 2, sorry. I'm adding Zachary before he needs to go in there. I had a 3-year-old and a 3-month-old, and she basically signed me up for this class and said, he's our hardest stats teacher, sink or swim, right? But one of the pieces of advice that this teacher gave us was, if you struggle for more than 10 minutes or so on any kind of problem, you can't figure it out, ask for help. And so that's what I would say to you, whether that be joining, you know, this coaching session or the IC chats, or being active in the independent consulting TIG for AEA, or any other of the TIGs that support your work. Don't be afraid to ask people for help. The one thing evaluators are is really helpful and caring. And in many ways, we're all competition, and most of us don't act that way. So definitely ask for help. I'm doing that now. I told you I'm getting a coach for my business. So never be afraid to ask for help. All right, so that's enough of me rambling. So I'm gonna stop the recording, and let's have a conversation maybe about, you know, what some of the best decisions that you've made lately are.